beautiful family? What it do? Welcome back to my channel. I'm hope you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out, and I'm keep coming out with bangers after bangers. I told you, I'm trying to take this serious. I appreciate everyone that been supporting me. I appreciate all the likes, all the comments. I appreciate that little butterfly out there who means a lot to me. She knows who she is. I appreciate her with all my heart, and who knows what the future holds. Also, today's video is basically, we still in Pride Month, so we're gonna continue with the vibes, and it's gonna be my coming out story part 2. Coming out story part 2, which is a little bit different than part 1, because part 1, it had more of a good understanding, a good vibe, a really funny ways of the way my sister came on and blew me out and told my mother, and then my mother accepted me with open arms like my mom should. And me being a mama's girl, I think has been the best feeling ever, you feel me? Now, come to like my siblings, they all expected it from me and kind of knew, but was kind of waiting for me to come out and say it. So once that was said and that was done, they all came to me and they all understood where I was coming from, and, you know, support me in every way that they could have. Never neglected me, never spoke bad about me, never said anything negative towards me being a lesbian, you feel me? Yeah. So, with that being said, my older sister Nancy, may God rest her soul, that one was a little hard for me, because I always see my older sister, like a mom as well, because she was the oldest out of 6 of us. So it's kind of hard for me to like come out and talk to her. But you know, she really also didn't care. Like, she accepted me really cool, and she actually helped me a lot with what I'm about to tell ya. But you know, my older sister was like very supportive as well. She got along with every girl that brung around the house. Even her and my little butterfly had a whole bond relationship between them two. Like, there was time that she used to call me, and my sister used to take the phone. They used to be on the phone for hours and hours, and I'm like, yo, can I talk to my girl time? Shit. But, you know, it was cool. I enjoyed it, you know. And of course, my nephew / my son, you know, Jojo, who I love so much as well. You know, I always say I looked after him as, you know, as mine once my sister passed, and he was very open hearted since he was little. And I used to go on dates and take little man with me every time we used to go on, I used to go on a date with a female or on a double date or something. I always had little man with me, and he was always there supporting me and rooting for me, and never ever ever let none of his friends or none of his people talk bad about me. So I got to give him a special shout out as well. So yeah. Now, the toughest part of coming out too for me was my father. Now, I don't want to take this video and say that my dad was a bad father, because my dad was an amazing dad. And my dad did everything to look after his family and to protect us. And I wouldn't change it in the world. Like, I would not change the father that I was raised with, you know. My dad was everything. My dad was my hero. And, you know, for me, it was a little hard to talk to my dad, because one, my dad was a little bit more stricter than my mom. And when I say that, I mean the fact that he was a little bit more stronger. And his character was a little more stronger. And it was hard for me to have like a talk to him about that once my mom found out. Obviously, my mom told him how I felt, and my mom, you know, took care of that for me. But I felt like my dad didn't approve me. But then again, I couldn't say that he didn't approve me, because he didn't neglect me either, you feel me? He didn't saw me any different, you know. He still took care of me as a child, as his daughter. You know, anything I wanted, my dad was the first person. My dad used to make lines for me. When the Jordans used to come out, my dad used to make lines and pick up the Jordans for me. Every fucking Saturday that the new pair of Jordan popped out, my dad was the first one in the line, like, getting me those pair of sneakers, you know. So that's what I'm saying, that it was hard for me to talk, and it's only because I had a respect towards my dad. Not that I didn't respect my mom, because I did, but it was easier for me to talk to my mom than it was easier to talk to my father, you know. So from what I remember, because it was years ago, my dad, whenever I used to bring females or be around females like that, my dad used to shut down and not say shit to me for like 2 or 3 days, and I knew he was upset. I got that. So I kind of like learned to not try to be around a lot of females when he was around, just to respect him, because I knew he was bothered by it, you know. Second, I always wanted to hear that word from my father to be like, hey, I'm proud of you. I'm always gonna, you know, you're always gonna be my daughter no matter what. And it was hard for me because I never got to hear those words. Well, I'm lying. I got to hear them. I'll tell you down the line. But as I was growing up and being more comfortable with me being gay and being a lesbian, I never got to hear that from my father. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for me to actually hear that. And I felt, you know, was I doing something wrong? Because at this point, there's no more denying who I am. My mom already knew. Everybody already knew. So I couldn't continue lying to myself. I wanted to be happy. But I felt like the minute that I was happier, I felt like I kept on letting my father down. You get it? I'm sorry if I'm blabbering and stuff like that. It's just a lot in my mind. But the last part that I remember was when my mom passed. And mind you, my mom and my dad, they passed away, I want to say 5 months apart. Like, I lost my mom, and then 5 months later down the lane, I lost my father. So I was living with them. I was the only daughter and the only sibling of my family living with my parents at that time. So once I lost my parents, or once I lost my mom, my dad, I was scared. I was like, I'm with my father. You know, my father was also started getting sick and stuff like that. I had my sister, Nancy. Of course, I had all my support of my other sister, but Nancy was the one that was actually helping me and guiding me and pushing me more so I could be more, you know, close with her. Because growing up with my father, we had like a love-and-hate relationship. We never saw eye to eye. We was like water and oil, or salt and vinegar. I don't know, but we never saw eye to eye, so we was always crashing. And of course, you know, the respect I had as my dad, I never wanted to argue or be disrespectful to him, but at times I felt like I did, because I never knew how to stay quiet, you know. But my sister Nancy, she fought a lot for him to understand and know that what I was doing wasn't as bad and as old school as it seemed. So, you know, as my dad was getting sick and he kept on getting worse and progressing worse, you know, I remember the day that he got really sick for me in the house. I called my older sister and I told her, Dad don't feel good. Like, we're gonna have to take him to the hospital because, you know, I didn't want him to get sick and end up dying in the house and stuff like that. So we went to the hospital, and we all, you know, there, whatever. At that time, my dad had cancer, so he also died of cancer. So he only had a few months to live, supposedly, to what the doctor had told us. But technically, it only was like 3 days. And those 3 days, for me, was the hardest days for me. For one, I knew I was losing my father. 2, I felt like I was letting him down. And 3, I was lost. I was devastated because I just lost my mom, my queen, and now I'm losing my king. So it was hard for me to even try to talk And my dad, not being able to talk because he couldn't breathe because, his oxygen level was low and all this other stuff. I remember having my fault. The video cut off. But yeah, so my dad being hard because he couldn't breathe and stuff like that, it was hard for him to talk at that time. And, he was fighting for me to get a place to live because he was scared that I was going to get kicked out or didn't have a place to go. And I kept telling my father, I'm going to be all right, Dad. I'm going to be good. Obviously I didn't want him to say that I'm going to be fine because I was with my ex-wife and everything's going to be okay because I didn't know how to tell him that, you feel me? But I remember, him fighting his words to talk to me. My dad grabbed me. I sat next to him in the bed. And my dad tells me, hija mía, which is baby girl. Yo quiero saber que tú sepas que yo te quiero mucho y siempre te acepto como tú eres. Perdóname si fui muy fuerte contigo. In words of man, baby girl, I always accept you for who you are. Forgive me if I was too strong to you. But for me to be strong to being that way, but for me to show you that in the world that we were living in, it's a hard world. And you have to prepare yourself with a lot of people that's not going to like for what you do and what you are. Those was his words. And I sat there and thought about it. I'm like, Dad, thank you. Because half of my life since I came out, I didn't know about that. Sorry. Once of those words, when I heard those words, it meant a lot for me because once I came out the closet, I didn't know if my dad was respecting me or if he even loved me like he did, But hearing those words was everything. Granted, it was the last time I actually had a conversation with my dad because the next day my dad passed away and broke my heart completely. But at least I know that my dad passed away with accepting my lifestyle. And this is why these days like this, I am who I am and I'm proud to be who I am. I am proud to be a lesbian. I am proud to be part of the gay community because I knew my mom had my back. I knew my father had my back. I know my sisters have my back. I know my brother, who also rests his soul, had my back. My brother was amazing from when he found out about me being gay. Yes, we bumped heads. Yes, me and him never saw eye to eye. People could tell you, I used to say a million times, oh, you're not my brother, I hate you. But in the end of the day, it was never like that. It was always love. And me and my brother, I love him to the death. And he knows that. But knowing that I had the support that I have from my family, it's what makes me who I am today. A proud lesbian. And this month, being Pride Month, I'm excited. And I'm going to try to make it to Pride this year to show out there who I am and bring y'all along with me. So I just want to thank all the support that I've been getting. I hope y'all enjoy the Coming Out Story Part 2. I just want y'all to continue liking, continue commenting, continue subscribing, and just continue supporting your girl. Because I'm just trying to make it out here, you feel me? But yeah, with that being said, I love y'all. I thank y'all. I remember what I always say, you matter, I matter, everyone matter, and giving up is not a fucking option. Peace. I'll catch you in my next video, y'all.
So let me spell it out. LGBTQIA. I'm gay, it's not a phase. I was born this way, meaning I can't change. Fuck you and your dad and the hatred that you have. Whoever told you this was wrong